This is another model of a historic machine by Classic Construction Models, and it's the Caterpillar 245 in an excavator configuration. As usual, the CCM packaging is very good, with a shipping carton containing a tissue-wrapped presentation box. The tissue-wrapped model is contained within a couple of polystyrene trays. There's no information provided about the real machine, and there's no instructions for the model either, but there's no assembly to do because it's complete out of the box. Diving into the detail, we'll start underneath the model, and the interesting thing to note is that the engine is visible in the underside of the body. The metal tracks have wide shoes, and the track frames have working rollers on the top, but no working rollers on the bottom of the track frame. Detail inside the cab is really good, with a comfy looking seat, a detailed console and levers and pedals. And on the outside there's a very fine metal mesh stepping plate. The metal handrails around the top of the body are realistically thin, and the Caterpillar name is embossed on the back of the counterweight. Looking on top of the body, the roof is finely perforated and there's a metal exhaust pipe. At the boom foot, the main lift cylinders look good and the hydraulic hoses look realistic, although we'll have to call somebody out to fix the loose hose. Details on the boom look fine, with silvered lights and more rubber hydraulic hoses. All of the rivets on the model are painted so they don't look out of place, and the buckets are fairly simple casting. On with the features, and we'll start with the good old rolling test. And there's too much friction in the tracks for a smooth surface, but on a rougher surface then they do roll reasonably well. If we pick the model up and give it a squeeze, we can see that the track frames are spring loaded, so that maintains the tension on the tracks, and when you're holding the model they do turn reasonably well. And if you like spinning around, then the mechanism on the model is very good. It's a very smooth bearing, and so it turns very easily. It's very pleasant to use. Onto the main digging gear, and the movement of the boom is very good. It goes up high and can go down quite low, so it makes a good low loader load if you want to pose it on another model. And you can open the stick part right out and get the maximum reach. The cylinders are stiff, so it'll hold any pose that you want to set. If we look at the bucket in close up, we can see that the range of movement on it is very, very good, so you can pose it digging really any way that you want, and that's a good feature on this model. The last feature to look at is the opening doors at the rear of the body, and just using a suitable pointy tool you could prise them open, and when you do that you can see that inside is the plastic engine, which is really quite detailed, made up of a number of different components, so it looks good and is a really pleasant feature on the model and gives it some different display possibilities if you have it in the display case with the doors open. And when you're done looking, you can just close the doors back up. And here's the CranesEtcTV guy telling his friend that he's got them spread wide open and he's about to go in. Classic Construction Models have done a good job with the Caterpillar 245 excavator. It's nearly all metal, the detailing is good, and the features are also interesting. If Caterpillar is your thing, it's highly recommended.